Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Mosport, whatever you want to call it, for the 15th race of the season. Last week, Julius Anderson became the 13th different driver to capture a win, officially putting us over the 12 driver. I don't know how to call it. Let's get to the starting lineup first. There are no hometown drivers here up in Canada. Johnny Gardner and Joshua Sekuli start on the front row. They are New York drivers, so I guess this could be considered the closest you'll get. So two New York drivers both on the front row. John Arndt, Dejan Weeks start in row 2. Arndt continues to impress with his Q skills. That's what he needs to be doing. Grayson Ace, Fade Emmanuel Hartnett, row 3. Nick Smith, Chandler Carter, row 4. With Wade Brummer and Philip Goldberg in row number 5. Here's your chase picture. With Anderson's win last week, he jumped up to second in points with that win. LJ Toledo, Zach Flickinger, Edwin Mendez, Dylan Young, all in the top 15 with wins. Philip Goldberg, Marty Johnson, Alexander Rowe, Matt Thiessen, and Chris Dodd with wins in the bubble zone. As is Adam Samsel. Here's the thing about Samsel. He is tied with JT Bryant for 25th in points. Now, the standings will show Bryant in 25th and Samsel in 26th, but Samsel has a win, and the point standings go off average finish as the tiebreaker. So Samsel has the tiebreaker, and he is in the chase, which means the only non-winner in the chase right now is your points leader, Eric Benson. With that said, Tyler Merkel is 42 points out behind him. Tony Green, 48. Danny Jones, 49. Eli Bright, 68. Charles Sanford, 72. Colin Denton, 74. And Dejan Weeks, 75. If Samsel falls back out, or any other winner falls back out, the fight is on with Merkel, Green, Danny Jones. That's your fight right there. Here's your bubble. Goldberg has 27-point gap. Johnson, 16. Rowe, 12. Thiessen, 3. And Dodd only has 1 point over 26 in points, whatever, because it's a three-way tie. Wade Brummer is 18 out, and John Arndt starts third. He is 37 points out. The most you can gain here in the truck series is 43 points. No. 42nd, 41st, 40th. 43 points is the most you can gain. We'll go over that in a bit more. Let's go trackside for Command the Fire Engines.
Are you ready? Gentlemen, start your engines!
You can only gain a max of 43 points if Eric Benson finishes 2 positions ahead of Tyler Merkel today. He will clinch, all but clinch, a spot in the chase without a win. And that looks awful. We're going to have to deal with that today, guys. Reflections on some of these tracks can be crazy. Yeah, I'm going to turn this off because this looks terrible, terrible, terrible. It's actually all the cloud cover, but we'll deal with it. So a lot of sun sprinkling through everywhere. It looks really bad, but I guess it's realistic. I don't know. Gardner leads. Sekuli second. And that's not a frame issue, guys. You see all that craziness. That's not a frame issue. That's a new file to help keep frames from lagging out and stuff. And it's just the way the reflections are all craziness. Oh, and John Arndt almost contact with Dejan Weeks. People will go off in the grass here, and that will allow a lot of positions to be changed. Some double file in the back here. But Gardner leads. Sekuli's got a huge run on him. Arndt's in third. Arndt had a a third place finish going last week, or 2 weeks ago, since we had our week off last week, guys. And then he got faltered back. It really cost him a couple points he could have gained. Arndt is 37 points out, so he's still in range as of today. Probably going to need some big miracles to happen today and in 2 weeks at Chicagoland. 3 weeks, actually, because trucks are off the next 2 weeks. But Arndt's going to need something big to happen. He's also trying to work his way into the chase in the Cup Series. That battle a lot tougher, a lot more winners in Cup. As Sakuli and Arndt both botched that corner, that will allow Ace Fado by the 05. As we were saying, though, if you have 43 points or more on 25th, you're locked in now. Next week, I will tell you guys who is locked in via wins and who has to be careful about falling outside that top 25. As there's another battle there. That is Emmanuel Hartnett to the right of Dejan Weeks. And this is a 16-lap race now. I'm not positive if these guys will have to pit or not. It's a 16-lapper. They may have to. But I am not 100% positive. Weeks and Hartnett still battle side by side. This is for 5th place. Or 6th place, actually. I'm sorry. Hartnett will get it here most likely. And there it is. Gardner continues to lead the race. Sakuli is not catching him in any form here. Ace Fado up to 3rd. Arndt down to 4th place. More battling back here. This is Wade Brummer and LJ Toledo. They're fighting for 8th place. So some good side-by-side racing here. But Brummer will complete the pass on Toledo. That's for 8th place. Caudle is in 10th. There's Philip Goldberg in 12th place. Goldberg won back at Kansas. Currently has him in the chase. He's going to go a bit to the right, but he'll keep his position. As Sanford moves to the right side of Qualls. No. Qualls will clear him back. Dejan Weeks trying to close back on Hartnett. Going to try and keep Allen for 6th. Nick Smith has caught up to the back of John Arndt. That'll possibly be a battle for 4th. As Eric Benson is on pit road with damage. The points leader is going to get, it looks like, his first DNF on the season. And I was just about to check the standings for anybody that was having problems. And Benson might have got into something with... Oh, Adam Samsel's got front-end damage. And I think he's done. That's going to hurt Samsel. Oh, he might keep going. We don't know yet. But Henry Williams seems to have been involved. We'll see if we can get a replay here as they keep racing. As Philip Goldberg's looking for 11th place on Zachary Fitzwater. John Arndt's trying to work his way back around Grayson Ace Vado. Cooley trying to find a way to hunt down Johnny Gardner. But Samsel will go back out on track without his hood. Let's try and take a quick look here. We're going to keep this in the clip. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, what the heck? So apparently they put up some fake walls here. Benson's truck gets spun out on the straightaway. He'll slide into that wall. And right there, he gets stuck. Not sure if his truck is dead, but he's definitely going to have about an 8-minute tow. And what actually happened here? Dodd actually gets clipped just a bit by Henry Williams, and that's what sent him into Benson in the first place. Henry's going to go back and try to get in line, and Samsel's coming, and he's like, dude, where do you want me to go? And that gets contact between Henry Williams and Adam Samsel, and Samsel's now in the dirt as we're probably giving somebody a seizure. And then Williams is in the grass and gets back into Samsel again. And tires. Surprisingly did not KO Samsel's truck. He continues. And there he is without a hood, and he's in front of the leaders. John Arndt got back by, and somebody else has issues now. Oh, no, that's still Benson. I thought that was a different truck. I'm dumb. But Arndt gets by Samsel. Samsel probably off pace without a hood on there. Arndt back up to third. Sekuli still trying to find a way to track down Gardner. But Benson is going to lose a ton of points today. And if he had gotten a decent finish today, he probably would have locked himself into the chase. But instead, that is not going to happen. Now, we must look at where Julius Anderson and Tyler Merkel sit, because Anderson, I believe, is 40 points back. Okay, Anderson is still running back behind the top 30, so he will most likely not get a decent run. As for Tyler Merkel, he's inside the top 20. So he'll gain a decent amount on Eric Benson. As we hit lap 8, we'll be halfway complete next time by. Thanks to Samsel, John Arndt has gotten a huge lead. These guys have not been able to get behind him, and he is a good amount off. So Ace Fado still in 4th. Smith trying to get into 5th here. He'll clear the 40. Hartnett's right behind him in 6th. Brummer's up to 7th, Weeks is 8th, Caudle 9th, and Toledo is 10th. And John Arndt's pitting. We have pit stops here today. Arndt's going to come down first, maybe try and get better tires and gain some track position. Nick Smith will come down. So pit stops for the trucks here today. Oh, Chris Shaw just turned these in right into pit road. Oh, and he'll fly right through by Smith and John Arndt. He lost several positions. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and I'd be surprised if he does not get a black flag. Eric Benson back on the racetrack. John Arndt out of pit road already. Nick Smith coming out next. Looks like Arndt might have done a bit more of a strategy call. There's Kev Shearer. Quentin Moore came down. Oh, and Alexander Rowe is demolished. Not sure what happened to the 39. We'll take a look at that in a second. He is one of the bubble drivers. Only has 12 points on 26th in points. These guys aren't going to pit just yet. So the top two stay out. So, excuse me. Let's take a quick look at Alexander Rowe's incident. So I'm trying not to crash my game as I go back in laps. So let's see what happened here. Now this looked like a pretty bad incident. Okay, here it is. He's to the right of Marty Johnson. Oh, and he's making contact. Oh, Marty Johnson was involved in this too. Johnson gets spun out, and oh, this is going to hurt. Man. And Alexander Rowe flies in with him. Rowe's truck is done, and so's Johnson, so both of these guys out of the race. I don't even know Johnson was involved in that. Going back live here on lap 10. Gardner is going to make his way down pit road, giving the lead to Joshua Sekuli on lap 10, coming to 6 to go. A lot of other guys still stay out. Is there really a need to pit? So far, I'm thinking that there isn't. Because a lot of people have not come down. Thesian's coming down. There's Eric Benson. He is 3 laps down. He's going to salvage some positions because people retired. Henry Williams is coming down. There's John Arndt. Now you see it looks like he has only done fuel only because his lap times are not fresh tire lap times. Oh, and Fitzwater, Nick Smith, and Smith goes back into pit road, and that's going to cost Nick Smith a good finish. It's too bad those walls are invisible. Or they don't exist. So Cooley the leader. Oh, Ace Fado and others are coming down. Hartnett's coming down too. More people starting to make their way to pit road. As we hit 5 laps to go. There's Benson. Now Arndt is right behind Johnny Gardner. So this is the battle for the lead, I think. Arndt's right there. He's going to go right by the 4. Did Johnny Gardner get damaged from something? His truck don't seem right. There's Ace Fado. This is the battle for the lead right now. And Arndt is going to get a run on the right side of Gardner, and he'll clear him. Arndt might be doing what he needs to do. Now the question is, do all of these guys have to pit? There's Joshua Sekuli, race leader by far, 5 seconds over Wade Brummer. He'll come to 4 laps to go. And he still stays out. Pitting might have been a bad strategy call because I'm not seeing that these guys really actually have to pit. Brummer stays out. I'm not seeing any sign that all of these guys have to come down. They're sprinkling in really far out. I'm wondering if some guys can only make about 14 laps. But Arndt has cleared Johnny Gardner. And he's pulling away. If they all pit, this will work in Arndt's favor. But right now, it's 4 to go, and I'm not seeing how. Arndt's up to 25th. Toledo, Hartnett, and Ace Fado all pit last time by. There's Sekula. You can see he's really off pace. I'm going to do something I never usually do. I'm going to go into the garage here. It says 41 laps. Now that would be as if it was on 1X. We're on 2X, so... And there's CTS fall off. They might not have to pit. Some people might have pit to get fresher tires because they thought everyone else was going to pit, but that's not happening. 3 to go. Joshua Schooley could be making a huge strategy call here. And John Arndt's crew might have just cost him a shot at the chase. There is a lot of people that would still have to come to pit road. 24 trucks to be exact. Even Eric Benson, who was stuck on pit road, he's gaining on that pack. I mean, they're closing in on the main pack back here. Arndt's 0.3 faster than Gardner. But you can see right here, they're only 28 seconds. They're only 7 seconds back. So Arndt could close in and maybe make some more passes, but it's not going to work unless everyone pits. Nick Smith got stuck back in pit road. He's 34th now, a lap down. But he's faster than these guys. See, this is working out for Dejan Weeks, who's in 4th place right now. Let's see what Sekuli does here. He's going to keep going. 2 to go. Lap times have really fallen. Nobody else is coming to pit road. I think it was bad strategy call on several teams' parts. They thought they had to pit. And these guys are proving them wrong. They're going still. Benson catches up to Julius Anderson as Kev Shearer's down pit road with damage. So is Zachary Fitzwater. Let's take a look at this. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at this. Shearer gets into the 84. That sends him into the wall there, and he's going to ride the wall in. Oh, man! Head first into the tire walls, and then Shearer gets into it. I know I didn't show much of a replay, but that's basically what happened there. Arndt continuing as Benson catches up to the back of the field. Julius Anderson's going to take... Julius Anderson. Joshua Sekuli's going to take the white flag here. Nobody else had to pit. Bad strategy calls for the 05 team. That's going to cost them the chase. I don't know who's going to be 25th in points, but that finish is going to cost them the chase. And I'm sure John Arndt is going to be absolutely livid over this race. But we're also going to see our 14th different winner, and this is really going to shake stuff up because Eric Benson is going to finish 37th. Arndt did what he had to do. He qualified well these past couple of races, and today his crew chief really messed up, and he's probably going to get fired. Through the corners one more time. It's going to be the New Yorker. Joshua Sekuli wins at Canadian Tire. And John Arndt is screwed. Wade Brummer will get second. He needed a good finish today. Chandler Cottle gets third. Dejan Weeks fourth. Philip Goldberg fifth. Charles Sanford sixth. James Cole seventh. Zach Rogers eighth. JT Bryant ninth. And Tony Green rounds out the top 10. John Arndt ends the day in 26th place. I will say, if this race was a 21 lapper, that probably would have won Arndt the race. That's not the case, however. I think Sekuli's running out of gas because Arndt, Smith is flying by him. They're out of gas. They stretched the fuel just enough. That car's off, man. I bet you if they had one more lap, they all would have pit. If it was a 17-lap race, they all would have had to come down. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow night at Darlington for the second and last cup race of the regular season.